Let us pray. And now may the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. We all are here this morning, for the most part, because of Jesus. At least I hope that's why you're here. Each of us can give a testimony as to how we met Jesus for the first time. For most, if not all of us, someone introduced Jesus to us. So the first question Jesus posed to his disciples in this morning's Gospel of Mark, reading from the Gospel of Mark, who do people say that I am? Is similar to how we might be asked to share how we were first introduced to Jesus. Someone else told us about Jesus. A Sunday school teacher, a youth leader, a minister, parents, friends, confirmation class. For me, that someone was Lorna Logan at the Presbyterian Church in Chinatown when I was 11. Who do people say that I am? Dutifully, the first disciples answered Jesus. John the Baptist, Elijah, one of the prophets. They were all good and correct answers. Jesus didn't have a problem with any of these answers. There was not a problem until the follow-up question which Jesus then posed. But who do you say that I am? It's one thing to quote others, to quote what others taught you. Ministers, teachers, seminary professors, whatever they taught you. You can say what you want and quote others all you want. Nothing is at stake. But who do you say Jesus is to you? Now, can't you just picture Peter, the bright, hyperactive student who anxious to please his teacher and score points, blurting out the correct answer, the answer he knows the teacher wants to hear. You are the Messiah. Peter shouts out. Now, most good teachers can see right through all that. See right through the good and conscientious student who studies hard every night, comes to class prepared, turns in her homework on time, who even asks for additional assignments for extra credit, and is ready to face any quiz or exam that the teacher throws at it. Now, what happens next is very interesting. According to our text, Jesus sternly ordered them not to tell anyone about him. Why would a teacher do that? Was there something wrong with Peter's answer? Peter didn't think so. In fact, Peter got into an argument with Jesus about the answer that he gave him. The gospel uses the word rebuke to describe the argument between Jesus and Peter. Rebuke is a very strong and harsh word. It describes not just an argument, but rather a fierce, angry shouting match. They are yelling at each other. It gets so fierce that Jesus finally tells Peter to shut up. Get behind me, Satan. In my many years of ministry, I have read many books on Jesus, aside from the Bible. In recent years, I would say one of the most profound and provocative books about Jesus I have read was Zealot, The Life and Times of Jesus of Nazareth by Richard Rohr. A biblical scholar, Aslan, says that in the end there are only two hard historical facts about Jesus of Nazareth, upon which we can confidently rely. The first is that Jesus was a Jew who led a popular Jewish movement in Palestine at the beginning of the first century of the Christian era. The second is that Rome crucified him doing so. If these are the only true historical facts that we can be confident about, what about everything else we've been taught about Jesus? How did Jesus get from being a revolutionary Jewish nationalist into a peaceful spiritual leader? Furthermore, how did Jesus become the Son of God, our Lord and Savior? I believe this morning's text from the Gospel of Mark can help shed some light on these questions. Let's get back to Peter's answer. You are the Messiah. In that particular time and place, that was a very good answer. Roman soldiers were the occupying forces enforcing the rule of Rome. And their power was enhanced by the collaboration of wealthy class of Jewish citizens. So in that time, there were many unsuccessful attempts at overthrowing the rule of Rome. Jesus was not the first. Rather, he was following in the line of previous messiahs who led military revolts against the oppressive Roman soldiers. The rallying cry of Jewish patriots was, "Take up your swords." Jesus shocked his disciples. As their Messiah, his command was to take up your cross. The cross, I want you to remember, was not a piece of jewelry in first century Palestine. The cross meant crucifixion. The cross meant the vicious form of capital punishment reserved by imperial Rome for political dissidents. Peter and Jesus were as far apart as they could be, going in opposite directions. The long-anticipated film, Crazy Rich Asians, has been described as not just a movie, but a movement. It has been 25 years since a major Hollywood studio presented an all-Asian cast. The anticipation has paid off. The film has already passed $110 million in box office sales. As much as I enjoyed and loved the film, I found a disturbing aspect in the film, even though it was not a major dimension of the film. Following the opening scene in London, the family returns to Singapore. Hidden away in a lush, tropical villa in the hills, the male lead's mother directs her socialite friends to open their Bibles. However, while reading Colossians chapter 3, verse 2, set your minds on things above and not on things that are on the earth. Incoming gossip via text messages break up any semblance of spirituality. The women collectively gasp, discovering that the male lead is bringing home to Singapore a girlfriend, a no-name American-born Chinese, automatically assumed to be a gold digger. Oh, I do hope she's a good Christian girl, one woman chimed in. In another comedic break to the Bible study, one of the women on the receiving end of insider information about the imminent collapse of a stock cries out, "Quick, quick, where's my pen bag? I need to call my broker." The film flaunts the role of Christianity in rich capitalist countries like Singapore and Hong Kong, showing it as a tool for the wealthy to cozy up with those who are even more wealthy, accruing large doses of social capital with sprinkles of gospel. The wedding takes place at the First Methodist Church, where the wedding guests arrive pulling up to the church in gaudy BMWs, Benzes, and Bentleys. Inside, the church is shown transformed into a tropical paradise, complete with a full river running through the central nave. Whispers of $40 million, the supposed cost of the wedding, permeate through the aisles. The takeaway message in the film is that Jesus can help enhance your wealth and social standing. In the recent Christian Century, issue of the Christian Century, the title of an essay grabbed my attention. Can Christians transform culture? The author, a United Methodist pastor, writes, people select churches based on the convictions in which the culture has already formed them. Those so formed primarily by the liturgy of the flag will choose a Southern Baptist church where they know their values will be mirrored. His point is that we choose churches the same way we choose political parties. If it is indeed true that our culture, especially our political culture, forms each of us through its very liturgies, the writer challenges us, followers of Jesus, to stake out ways to refuse to replicate or exacerbate the religion people bring with them to the church. My wife Sharon and I attended a seminar recently where Father Richard Rohr said in a homily, whenever you insert religion inside of culture, culture always wins. We are Americans first, and maybe once in a while we are Christian. It is culture that forms us. The writer of the Christian Century article goes on to say, Christians are not simply to make the world a better place. Christians are called to be the better place God has already made in the world. In our time and place, we believe what it means for the church to be that better place is to be the place where all of our differences about the kingdom we call America are transcended by the kingdom we await in faith. Who do you say that I am? Jesus is not asking us to answer him just with our words. He is asking us to answer him with our lives. Now, I don't want you to think that unless our lives are in danger, that we're not faithful followers of Jesus on our journey of faith. I want you to think of cross-bearing as making your commitment to Jesus with your words and deeds as your first and foremost commitment. Make it your commitment that surpasses all other commitments. Make a commitment, let your commitment to Jesus inform and guide you in all the other commitments you make with your life. To your spouse, companion, to your family, to your friends, to your career, to your volunteer work, to your play. William Wittleman, the former dean of the chapel at Duke University, tells of the occasion when a representative from Teach America visited the Duke campus on a recruitment trip. Teach America tries to recruit the nation's most talented college graduates to go into some of the nation's worst public schools. It is Teach America's method of transforming our schools into something better. The representative stood up in front of a large group of Duke students and said to them, I can tell by looking at you that I've probably come to the wrong place. Somebody told me that this was a BMW campus, and I can believe it looking at you. Just looking at you, I can tell that all of you are a success. Why would you all be on the campus if you were not successful? If you were not going on to successful careers on Madison Avenue or Wall Street. And yet here I stand, hoping to talk somebody into giving away your life in the toughest job you will ever have. I'm looking for people to go into the hollows of West Virginia, into the ghettos of South Los Angeles, and teach in some of the most difficult schools in the world. Last year, 2 of our teachers were killed while on the job. And I can tell just by looking at you that none of you are interested in that. So go on to law school, or whatever successful thing you're planning on doing. But if by chance, just some of you happen to be interested, I've got these brochures here to tell you about Teach America. Meeting's over. With that, the whole group of students stood up, pushed into the aisles, pushed each other aside, and ran down to the front, fought over those brochures. Willimon then had this to say. I learned an important insight. People want something more out of life than even happiness. People want to be part of a journey. People want to be part of a project greater than their lives. And so you choose to work on immigration reform and helping refugees instead of pursuing a job at Google or Facebook. Who do you say that I am? With that question, Jesus is not looking for the right answer. Jesus is looking for followers on his way of costly discipleship. Who is Jesus to me? Jesus is at the center of my life. In Jesus, people are more important than property values. In Jesus, love triumphs over fear. In Jesus, mercy, not retribution, is our default mode. In Jesus, humility replaces hubris. In Jesus, generosity smothers greed with its goodness. In Jesus, rocks shout out in joy. In Jesus, demoniacs are no longer relegated to graveyards. In Jesus, prodigal parties rage on every single night, and no one is ever left injured by the side of the road. Who is Jesus to me? Jesus is the Christ who has claimed my life with this charge. If any want to become my followers, let them deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For those who want to save their life, lose it. And those who lose their life for my sake and for the sake of the gospel will surely find it.